Alright, this is my Tamiya Leopard 1A3 BE1. It's a Belgian Leopard 1. And then, let's see, got the headlights working. Don't quite have the taillights set up yet. And I do have the spotlight working. It's down inside. I haven't run the cable out yet. Let's see that light way down in there. Let's see it there? It's just stuck inside for now. I'll have the taillights rigged up pretty soon. But here we go. I got a custom hinge made there I drew it up, and I had JVM 3D Concepts make it for me. I should say draw it for me. And then I printed it on my own 3D printer because I wanted it made in PLA. So there's the inside. There's the spotlight. And then this hatch here slides up and spins around like the real thing. That's where the Tamiya Apple base is. So this is a perfect scale brand turret and made in resin urethane, hand cast in molds. And I scratch built the turret basket. That took many weeks of scratch building to solder all of that together with the plastic braces that I made. It came as an A5 kit with all of the armor on the turret and the A5 sighting system, but they allow you to backdate it with the older panoramic sights. I think it's stereoscopic sights. So I put the stereoscopic sights on. I didn't want to do the modern sighting system that goes right here, the thermal sights. I wanted to do an original Belgian, and this is my gun barrel. I make this gun barrel for Leopard 1s and Centurions and anything that had a British L7. I make these in 3D printed resin, and they are just beautiful. This is one of my earlier ones when I was actually hand casting them in urethane with a brass tube in the center, but now I make them in resin and they look even nicer. And I've got a recoil unit in there. So you can see the gun barrel and the tank jerks. And I finished doing the back. So the back has all the stowage on it. You see the spare tracks, spare, center guides, and then spare end connectors. And I drilled out the engine grill, the radiator grill for all the holes so that the sound comes out better. And I got the early Leopard 1 grates from Der Emma Leyden. Those were white, but they've been on this thing so long the UV has turned them yellow. They've been on there a little more than a year. And these are the tow cables. Grab my tow cable right here. And this Leopard is supposed to have shorter tow cables than most because the tow cable goes the tow cable goes closer to the rear than they did later on. So see, I've got the little twisty guy there to latch it down. That goes on there and then twists to hold it on. So this is a tow cable that I'm going to have more ends made up that are this size, and then it'll strap along to the back tow hook on the other side. But you can see it's too long because these are tow cables for a Leopard 1A3 or a later Leopard 1 where the tow cable tabs are up here. And then these beautiful stowage boxes that I have on both sides. I drew up an engineering drawing for them, and then I gave that engineering drawing to JVM 3D Concepts. You could find them on Instagram. And they did those wonderful boxes for me. They are just amazing. I did have to file the notches and everything. I just wanted the basic boxes. And then I did the detail work of notching them where they're supposed to be notched, and then putting them on the tank. And without them, I would not have been able to make this Leopard BE1 look as good as it does. And I'll tell you, I love this. I got a whole bunch of Leopard kits and old clutch drive Leopard 1A4s that are going to become various other tanks. This is the first one that I'm actually completing from the ground up. I've redone all the wheels, have ball bearings in them, screwed to the drives. I have my own custom shock absorbers that I had JVM 3D draw up. I don't have one on hand to show you, but I can show it to you on the tank here. Where'd it go? Oh, I tested them on my other Leopard. I'm sorry. I have a Leopard 1A4 that I monetized to do all the testing on. And it got the shock absorbers that I had them designed for me that have 2 springs in them. And they're going to go front and rear to help support the weight. I modified the Tamiya shock absorbers to accept 1 spring, and I have that in all of them, but they kept breaking because they're weak styrene. So I have JVM's shock absorbers that they drew for me. I have a whole package of them waiting for me on the way. And then if we want to look inside real quick, this was the motorized kit. It had a plastic hull originally, and I'll show you. Here's the box for it right here. 2-motor drive. I thought, great. Paid $900 for it. Plastic sprockets, cheesy 280 motors, really cheap, crappy, snap-together plastic track. In fact, I've got some of that right here. It actually looks really good. It actually looks really good, but it is not strong, and it just would not hold up to heavy RC use. But it's really great for detailing. All that track on the back, that's all this stuff. So, anyway, this came on the computerized Sherman, and then the motorized 116 Leopard 1A4. And back to the box real quick. There's the label. There you go. See, it's got the remote control. Anyway, it came with a plastic hull, plastic torsion bar arms with torsion bars on them. And I'm going to see if I can pull this thing off of here gently. There we go. I'm going to lift it up. And the inside, I got the original switch plates and stuff mounted here for my switch. I got my Centurion DMD11 in there. And I got a nice set of Taigen trannies. They work great with my design that I have set up in there for them. I got a custom template that I make to make them fit, because I got a lot of these tanks to set up. And like I said, all the wheels got ball bearings, even the return rollers. They got ball bearings in the return rollers. So these tanks will run forever. And you see this T84 track? I asked JVM to make T84 track for us. And boy, did they make some awesome stuff. This is, these are Tamiya Pershing track that I disassembled and stuck the pads in and rebuilt it. So there you go. That's the original early Leopard track. And I did some bracing under the hull. I had to cut the fenders off and reshape it all to make it fit. So you can see I'm going to glue some rubber over the fenders. I like to use bicycle inner tube rubber. It's pretty good. If not, then I'll use, if I need thicker rubber, I will use rubber left over from the inner tube tires of my Army Jeep. Old Willys Army Jeeps actually used inner tubes. They didn't have self-inflated tires. They actually had to have inner tubes in them. So one more thing about this track that JVM makes for me. I will show you something really quick here. Right there. That is genuine Leopard track made by JVM 3D for me. They got Leopard pads. Here's another set I built. Now these have a slight bluish purple tint to them because of the resin mixture he used. He used a higher density resin. And as soon as they wear, they'll look just fine. The black is so hard for the laser on the resin printer to work that it's tough. But the cool thing about that track, and that's going to be my Australian AS1, the cool thing about that track is it is 100% 3D printed. The end connectors, the center guides, and the pads on that set of track I was just showing you, they are 100% 3D printed. Now here is all the parts right here. There's pads, there's end connectors, more pads. Those are Leopard pads right there. And then here's all the center guides right there. Oh, I'm sorry, the end connectors. Anyway, I bought a set of 051 wire from McMaster Car, and I spent weeks chopping and cutting steel pins, dressing them on a grinder to length, and then dressing the ends of them. And I hammered together a complete set of 3D printed tracks. And the ones I was showing you there that were black, that were all worn, those are on my modernized Leopard 1A7. I think there's some videos on YouTube of that running around. That was my first test of, can I take a Tamiya Leopard and modernize it with all ball bearings, modern trannies, and then everything on the tank itself, all the details were broken off, or they were kind of broken off. I could have fixed them with all the parts I have now, but I didn't have any of this back then. I only had two. So I had that beat up one, and then I had one kit brand new in the box, which is the static Leopard, which is what you see down here. This is the static Leopard kit. So what we're looking at, this is the kit that became the Belgian BE1, the motorized Leopard. And I bought a beat up clutch drive hull that was missing a lot of stuff, so that I had at least the metal chassis and the metal arms and metal torsion bars and everything, and then all the details from this kit supplanted onto that chassis to build that thing. So what's left in this kit is actually the turret and the plastic hull, and I used the wheels because the wheels on this chassis here were all worn, and a lot of the detail parts, everything on the turret basically, and what stuff. So I have a lot of extra parts if people need extra parts. This one here is what you saw up there is going to become my Australian AS1, which is a Leopard 1A3. And that's going to be the next one on the bench, as well as I'm concurrently working on a Canadian C2 Mexus with one of these turrets, and a lot of help of 3D drawing and armor printing by a friend that I made in Italy named Ettore. And I hope I pronounced that correctly. But he helped me do an immense amount of work on the armor, and I have many thanks to him. And when I have the armor completely done, I will sell copies of it if anybody wants it. It's a lot of scratch building, a lot of work, but I just love how this tank came out. I spent enormous hours on this thing, and I'm showing you what it looks like right now before I paint it, because to me this is when a tank looks the best. This is when you see what the model looks like, and this is where you can appreciate everything the modeler put into his model. Once it's painted, all of the glory of all the brass work and all the detail just disappears. Only a really experienced modeler can pick it out and appreciate it. The rest of the people just don't see it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and watch another video, have a good time, and enjoy all the stuff that I make. Rich Johnson Models and stuff.